If you are looking for the update on the Calgary real estate market, well, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to dive into stats, numbers, some charts, and kind of get deep in looking at what is happening in our market. It's really confusing because with the current employment numbers, the migration from other provinces, and the current commodity market, is this going to be enough to sustain Calgary through the next couple years? Well, we don't know that answer, but we do know where we're at today. So let's get into that right now. So I want to show you guys this chart, and this is what we will always walk through on our market update reports. This is on our website. I'll put the link in the description if you want to go dig deeper into it. But we're always looking kind of 90 days backwards, what's happening in the market, what's kind of looking at what's, all these numbers right here. And so right now, people always ask me, how do you get 181% of sales? Well, if you look at all the homes that have sold over the last 3 months compared to what has come on the market, there's more sales over the last 3 months than what is coming on the market. And that number still is over 100%. I remember back when COVID was happening in 2020, we started seeing this number go above 100, and it's been there for a long time. Now, the city of Calgary currently is sitting at 1.65 months of inventory with a total of only 3,206 homes on the market. This is a city of 1.2, 1.3 million people, and there's only 3,206 homes on the market, literally at the time that we pulled this number at the beginning of November. That is really, really low, and we'll get into that. And over the last 90 days, there's been 5,826 homes sold. So this is very, very different. It's a very confusing market right now. There are numbers being thrown around, interest rates going up. You hear stats, like we get calls, like personal family, friends calling us being like, hey, so has the market crashed yet? And it's like, no, it actually hasn't. And it's really, really confusing because when you look at across Canada, you see these headlines, Canadian real estate, blah, 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 blah. It's not all the same. The Calgary market, the Edmonton market, the Regina real estate market, Toronto and Vancouver, Montreal, all of them are different. So painting this picture across the whole country can be really, really confusing for you. And so today we're talking about Calgary. So let's start here. This is the first intro paragraph or a couple paragraphs of what the Calgary Real Estate Board put out in their market report. And I don't typically just put it out here and read it, but there's a few things that I want to highlight. And the first one is that the October sales have eased compared to last year's levels, mostly due to slower activity in the detached sector. And we'll get into that and we'll kind of show you some things there. Calgary hasn't, so right here, Calgary has not seen the same degree of pullback in housing sales like other parts of Canada, thanks to persistently strong demand for our higher density product. This is what the chief economist Anne-Marie Lurie said. While our city is not immune to the impact that inflation and higher rates are having, strong employment, positive migration flows, and stronger commodity markets are helping offset some of that impact. And that is what we are seeing here. We are seeing other pressures other than just an interest rate increase that are offsetting what we are feeling compared to what others are feeling in the country. And what's really interesting is new listings right here. New listings also trended down this month, causing the sales to new listings ratio to rise to 85% and inventories to trend down. Much of the inventory decline has been driven by products priced below $500,000. So I want to start there. And if you remember if you watched our last month's video, we did talk a lot about this population growth that has happened over the 12-month period. We only have up to Q2 2022 numbers, but there was a 21,660 peoples that moved to Calgary, more than what left. So we had a net population gain of nearly 22,000 people. That's a lot of people. And as we continue to see that trend into this next year in 2023, along with foreigners and people coming from international places, that's going to also change. You live in the GTA? We are coming to Toronto, we're coming to GTA, and we want to meet you in person. So if you know us, we are a real estate team, Chamberlain Real Estate Group here in Calgary, and we've helped so many people from the GTA move in this last year or two. So we want to understand from you, from your mouth, hearing your words, why you are considering or why you would never move to Calgary. I want to hear both stories. So if that's you and you want to meet up in person, you want to hear an interview, we want to talk to you, head through to the form that's in this ad, in the description, or just click through the ad itself and tell us your story so that we can hear from you and possibly meet up with you when we are there mid-November 2022. And when we see the in-migration internationally, as well as locally in our country from the different provinces, we could see this number actually increase. And truth be told, there's just not enough inventory for people who are moving here. And that's why when you saw that number, 3,200 homes on the market, like there's nothing for sale right now. And so this is what's kind of happening in our market. So I want to start with months of inventory. So you can see on the screen, this is months of inventory. So basically it's a way to kind of gauge what kind of market we're at. If it's down here, we're in a seller's, in here it's a balanced, and here is a buyer's. So if you're above these purple lines, in between or below. And so when you're below this purple line, which we have been for a while, and we are seeing that this is actually trending down right now, that we are sitting just above 2 months of inventory for the whole city. When you look at the 90-day number, the first one, it was 1.6. So there's all these kind of numbers right around 2 months of inventory in the city. Now, if we take a look at this is what I really want to hit home and try to help explain what's going on. This chart has the number of listings that came on the market per month, and it goes all the way back to 2013. Now, the bright blue, I made it as bright as I possibly could, that Google Sheets would allow me to do. Look at that number. If you can't see it, it's down there. This is October. October 2022, the number of listings in that month was the lowest recorded number of listings since 2013 with the data that we pulled here. So it's really interesting, because if you have that and that's the lowest, and then if you have this one, which is the number of sales per month, and if this was kind of the middle ground, that blue line is up near the top. I think it's only 2013, 2014, and possibly 2021 that we saw more sales over in the same month, right? And so we have the higher number of sales, and we have a lower, right here, lower number of listings coming on the market. And everything is supply and demand. So the real confusing part of this whole market is right now we have interest rates, right? So you have interest rates and they're going up. That's an up arrow. So we have interest rates and they're going up. And that upward pressure is trying to fight inflation, is trying to fight the increase in home prices. And that's the next thing is, and then we have home prices that because of this, they want the home prices to go down. But as I just showed you, and as I just walked through, we have migration, we have employment. I'm just gonna do employ, and we have our commodity market, right? All pushing upwards on that price, essentially. And why it's pushing upward on the price comes through the supply and demand. Because if you do not have enough supply for the people who want to buy it, the price goes up. So now we have a downward pressure up here, we have an upward pressure of here, and between these two, they're all kind of fighting each other. So where is our market gonna land as we go into 2023? I don't know. You don't know. We really don't know. But this is why when on our channel, we have been talking about, the Calgary market feels a little bit different. This is why, because we have these upward pressures on price through supply and demand and just the inventory and everything else that's happening in the market. And then that downward pressure through everything else that's happening outside of our control, right? So all that said, where's it gonna go? I don't know. But what I do know is that you have to make sure that if you are planning on purchasing or selling in this market, that you have a plan. And why I say that, and please have a plan of where you're going to go, because do not think you can just put your home on the market and you'll find something to move into. And that includes rentals. The rental rates in the city have really increased. We've seen some 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom condos just outside of downtown, but like Montgomery and different areas, starting to rent for $1,600, $1,900, even $2,000 a month. We're starting to see some single family homes renting out for $3,000 plus a month. So the rental market is also tight. Again, supply and demand. There's a lot of demand here. And unfortunately, for all of you watching from outside of Calgary, we as real estate agents don't really help with rentals. There's not a system here in Calgary and Alberta set up for that. So you kind of have to go to places like rentfaster.ca and find rentals that way, because we don't have access to the inventory. We'd be looking where you're looking and we don't really get paid for it, and there's nothing set up that we can really help with, but really we focus on sales. So just so you know that. But let's get back to these numbers. So what I wanted to show you is, and kind of break down each of the different property types. So the first one here is detached homes. So the blue line is the inventory levels, and this goes back to 2013, which you can see down here. And these are current numbers. The blue line is inventory. Black line is new listings that came on in that month. And the red line is the sales that happened. Okay, so we're gonna look at this, and then we'll also look at months of inventory for each of the 4 different product types in the city. So the inventory right now, this is what really surprised me. 42% of the inventory is actually in the upper ranges. So probably 500, 600, 700 and plus, right? So more probably 550, 600, 700 plus. So you're seeing more product in the higher ranges than we normally do. And when properties, so if you're planning on buying a home that is under, let's call it 600,000, they go fast. If they're priced properly and they know and they understand their marketing and they understand the market and the pricing and they prep it well, all those kind of things, there's multiple offers on that, because there's a real lack of inventory for that initial kind of starter, smaller, single family detached homes in the city. And so with that said, if you are a seller and you're planning on moving up into maybe the 7, 8 plus million plus range, and you're selling something in the 500s, over Christmas, here's a hint, over Christmas could be a really good time. Like, I'm not joking. There are still a lot of people that are looking and are going to be continuing to watch the market over the Christmas months. So again, have a plan of where you're going to go, but this could be a great time for you to do that. And we would love to be interviewed to help you with that sale. So don't just listen to this and ignore me asking to help you, because we're really good at what we do. We got you to watch this video. We're really good at what we do, and we can help you with that process. If you are planning on making a move in the coming months or even the next year, planning it out is really important. On our team, we have been helping families transition, like over 430 families we've helped move this year alone so far in 2022. So let us use our experience, our knowledge, our team, and our expertise to help market your home, find the next home, and do it all in such a great way that you're gonna be so proud that you worked with us, because we take it so seriously and we wanna work with you and prove you right that you chose us and we are the right people for the job. So let's chat. info@chamberlaingroup.ca, and we'll help you figure that out. So in this, I'm gonna do a line. So since 2018, this has been, I'm gonna make this straight. Okay, so that is the current bottom of every Christmas, right? We kind of have the low number of inventory every Christmas. And if we're sitting up here, and not saying that it could, I mean, it could end up anywhere in here, that's under 1,000 listings at Christmas for detached homes. That could happen. That could happen. And to me, that's really scary, because I mean, that's like dropping it really far, really in half. And to me, that's kind of crazy. And so, yeah, I'm actually kind of scaring myself looking at that. And the reason is if it gets down there, and we don't have new inventory coming on the market in the new year, there always is, but if interest rates, so again, we could also see another potential small interest rate in January. We could see one in December. I've been hearing, both sides. We're not going to see any more. We're going to see a bunch more, but most likely we'll see a quarter point December, quarter point January, and those are going to kind of keep people at bay, right? When things are confusing and things are a little bit different, consumers just say no. But if you are wanting or needing to do something, like, talk with us, because we can help you through that process, because the market's just really, really weird. So as we get into semi-detached, semi-detached homes, so as you can see, this is the inventory again, sitting around 300, maybe 4, something like that, is the current number of inventory. But that also is having a fairly steep decline, where sales and new listings are really, really tight. And so a lot of stuff is turning as it comes on, and it's not a high inventory. So those are the first 2 products. And again, this is kind of flirting. Oops, there you go. This is kind of flirting with that balance market kind of going up. Now, the numbers for townhouses and apartments are actually starting to look really good. And so when you look at detached and semi-detached, those inventories, really declined in number of sales and all that. And townhouses, like, look at the trend right here. And I know it's only last year and this year, but that would be November. So we're going to probably drop a little bit, but you actually have this upward trend, and again, lower inventory for townhouses. But look, when you compare the last slides, you have probably about, let's call it 450 current inventory of townhomes in the city. And you've got about maybe 300 sales happening in October there. And so this is really, really tight. This is increasing. So the sale number, and again, inventory is low. These guys, they're really, really, they're much further down in the months of inventory, right? So they have, there's a lot of inventory that is sitting on the sidelines, that's not on the market, and buyers are buying. So if you have, again, a townhouse or an apartment rental and it's coming up and you can possibly put on the market, this could be a really, really great time to do that over Christmas and into the new year. Now, the apartments, this is what I wanted to show here. Look at how much inventory there was compared to how low the sales have been for a long time. Now, if you look at what the sales are doing, draw a line here, and you kind of look at these inventory, these 2 bottom lines, right? So this is, again, those Christmases. We're starting to see this close down a little bit. And I think this is a great thing for condos. So if you are looking for that first initial home, your first time purchase, something like that, and you were planning on buying a detached house, and now you've got to look at a townhouse or a condo, it's disappointing. I totally understand. And as the market changes and the market continues to go forward, I don't think it's going to get any better. And so we're shooting another video this week that'll come out in about a week or 2, so kind of mid-November, that we're talking about this exact thing, where if you ended up buying something, or didn't buy something in 2020 because you're waiting, it was too crazy, you didn't want to be a part of it, and then you waited till 2021 and you're like, oh, interest rates went up a little bit, price has gone up, I'm just gonna wait, let this settle down, and now we're here and we have this 5.2, 5.3 interest rate, the benchmark prices are a lot higher. Is it gonna get cheaper to wait again? I don't know, but we're gonna work through that math, and so watch for that video as we continue on. But so again, the good part is that months of inventory for apartments are now coming down, and they're starting to flirt with the seller's market. And we've actually seen some multiple offers over this last month in condos as well. So that's kind of some of the info that I wanted to share. This is some stats. There's a lot of stats here, so bear with me. So this is your average list price since July to now. The sale price has actually come up and kind of stayed steady here. And this is what we've been seeing is, again, we have that upward pressure on prices and we have downward pressure on prices. And we have all of these things fighting with each other right now. And I feel like it's just gonna kind of hang out in some area. And I don't think we're gonna see these big drops like you're gonna see in other major cities in the country, and you're not going to see these major upswings either because of what's happening in the rest of the country. So it's a really interesting place. The actives versus solds over the summer, we've again been seeing the actives coming down, and the solds over the last 30 days have slowly been coming down. I mean, it's not nearly as bad. Months of inventory. So the red is a 7-day and blue is a 30-day. And with these numbers, again, 2.5 right here and 4, let me get those lines right. That is your balanced market. This is your seller's market down here. So all things 90-day, the 30-day, and the 7-day, are all pointing towards the market kind of sitting in that seller's market and not changing. So if this has been helpful and you love these stats and you want more of them, and maybe you want to learn a little bit more about Okotoks, Cochrane, or Airdrie, we've also shot its own market update video where we go through some stats there. So head on over to that video and we'll see you guys there.